Well, you're three very dynamic players, also black players on the team. Wonderful talent, and I'm so excited to have you on the team now, as I was one of the few African-American players when I was playing. So I would love to hear what your experiences were coming up through the youth ranks. How about we start with you, Naomi?
I wasn't introduced into club soccer until kind of a later age, just because of exposure and economics. So once I was on club teams, I was mainly the only black player, and I think that was an adjustment for me coming from like the community and family life. So yeah, I think being one of the only ones can make people hesitant to join when they don't see themselves represented in that space.
I had an experience where I did an event for Boys and Girls Club, and one young lady said to me, I didn't know black people played soccer. I said, I'm glad I'm here for you to see, but I was a little bit thrown because it made me sad that she didn't think that it was a choice for her. So why is representation important?
I think the moments that stick with me have been either going to clinics or signing autographs after the game, and you go up to a little girl and she'll either look at her mom or her parents will look at me and go, she looks just like you. You see their eyes light up. And it's that moment of them realizing, this space also could belong to me. I could also be there. When you see it, you believe it. You believe that you can be in that space. You believe that that's an attainable goal for you. Our mere presence here already serves as an inspiration, and I think that's not something we take lightly.
I think the significance of representation is, I honestly don't think I can do it justice with words. We have clinics that we do all around the country, and what's really special about it is we have actual, like you did, professional black soccer players come and play with kids who sometimes have never had any introduction to the sport at all. And what's really interesting is that they're not always obsessed with the soccer piece. A lot of girls come up and be like, you guys are so beautiful. And that one also strikes me, because we're outside, we're sweating, like we're playing soccer, but it's just like for them to see older black women in this space, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
As a professional soccer player, I've already had experience in San Diego where parents will be like, I love that my daughter gets to watch you, and not even like watch you play, just watch you be here in this space. So I think that's what it's really about, just expanding the things that you think you can do and actually believing that you can get there, because I think it's hard to believe it when you don't see it in front of you.
So Midge, with the Black Women's Players Collective, you're trying to open opportunity for young girls to see other members of that collective. Tell me why you decided to create that, and what is its purpose?
Yeah, well, it's a history lesson for you. This one wasn't in the league at the time yet.
I'm learning.
You were there. Wasn't great. In 2020, during the protests for Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, the discourse when we were talking about race in this country, race relations, and truthfully just what reality is for some Americans. And that was when a lot of us just decided, it's not about convincing other people to believe what I'm telling you is my experience. It's not about that anymore. It's about helping those who have those shared experiences and those feelings to just access this sport that Alana was talking about that is it has given so much back to us. After the BWPC started and we started speaking more to moms, we said, well, why don't you put your kids in soccer? And they're like, well, can you go to college with that? There was just no idea. People didn't know that you could get a soccer scholarship and go places.
Right.
As minorities, I think we're always going to look out for each other, and I think what the BWPC did is kind of give it a focus, give it a mission, and kind of give our community something to rally around and ideas of what we want to do collectively. And I think when you do that, you give other players who aren't black, you give them an idea of what they need to support and the message that we're trying to put out.
They're very active.
Yes, I know you are. It's wonderful. I love hearing your passion about it. I love that you have this community, this place to go now. It wasn't necessarily the case for me at the time, but I'm just so happy to hear that you have that now. It's so important, because you're not just soccer players. You are women of color, and there's a lot more to you that you can share with each other.